But I think it is a very interesting dynamics because Indonesia is shifting from a big LNG exporter to an LNG user, right? And the conversion of the Arun terminal in 2014 from a liquefaction plant to a regas terminal, that illustrates this change very well, right? And we could expect more regas terminals to be built. And speaking about the LNG demand, Indonesian LNG demand will grow around 3 times, from 2.5 million tons last year to nearly 8 million tons by 2025. And in 2030, we could expect almost half of the gas demand to be met by LNG. However, this doesn't necessarily mean that Indonesia will import a lot of volumes from the international market, right? Import is possible, I think, but the bulk will still come from the domestic projects like Bonteng or Tangguh, because the current production at around 17 million tons, it is still quite significant. Most of them are exported, by the way, but the government is taking some measures to curtail exports and is unlikely to renew the export contract. So more LNG volumes will be available to the domestic buyer. That's a very hot topic at the moment, so I'm glad you asked about that. Yeah, I think, well, in this low oil price environment, there is indeed mounting pressures from customers to reduce gas price, right? But I think it's more about the gas pricing strategies because Indonesia adopts a fixed pricing mechanism, right? Cost plus mechanism, while its neighboring countries like Singapore, they adopt oil-linked prices. So 3 years ago, for example, the gas price in Singapore was around $20 per MMBTU, right? It drops to around $6.5 today, while Indonesian gas prices to small industrial users remain stable at around $8.7 per MMBTU, right? So the difference is because they adopt different pricing strategies, and when the oil price recovers, then this relative position will change again. So I think reducing the gas price is not the solution. I think Indonesia needs to rethink its gas pricing strategy, whether it is still relevant in this current environment. So setting an artificially low fixed gas price, it may not work. Firstly, it may discourage the investment in the gas sector. And secondly, I think it is counterintuitive because Indonesia will need more and more LNG, and the country will be increasingly exposed to LNG volumes and its oil-linked prices, right? So yeah, I mean, it may seem reasonable at the moment to cut gas prices, but it may not be sustainable for the future. Yeah, I think Indonesia is entering into a new segment, and that's small-scale LNG with the startup of the Bali terminal early this year, and we could expect more to come because the government they plan to build small-scale regas to supply LNG to like 21 power plants in central Indonesia. It's lesser now, and another 60 terminals in eastern and western parts of Indonesia. So that's a massive plan. Well, the economics of small-scale LNG projects has been negatively impacted by low oil prices. However, at the same time, we see that LNG prices are lower as well now. The contracted and spot prices are lower, and there are more affordable technology options which have become available. Not only converted carriers, but also people are using batch storage, ISO tanks, etc., which have reduced the infrastructure costs further. Right? So, if all these projects materialize, we could expect another 2.5 million tons of LNG demand on top of our base case. So bringing it to around 10 million tons in total by 2025. Speaking about the near-term development, like in the next 5 years, I think some prospective projects are those in North Sulawesi, West Kalimantan, and those on the Sumatran Islands, because PLN is building the gas-fired power plants there. They will need LNG. It's just a matter of time. There is a massive number of opportunities in Indonesian gas and LNG sector, right? But we also know that things can move a bit slowly here. I mean, there are challenges and obstacles to overcome. So I'm really keen to hear from the government, from the industry players and fellow experts, on how things are progressing so far. Really keen to hear from them about the recent insight and most recent project update.